That's Leslie.
And that's Kristi.
And we're going in.
Yay!
So today we're going to be talking about virtual assistants. And I have one and you don't.
And I want one. Actually, I want a personal chef, but you know.
I just want Rosie the robot, from the Jetsons that does the cooking and the cleaning and the taking care of children and all of the things. I want her.
Yes. Yes, please.
But since she doesn't exist, I will take my virtual assistant, who is worth her weight in gold. She's amazing. But as we get into this conversation, I'm just going to say it's kind of like an editor. You have to do a little bit of trial and error to find the right one to fit you. The same thing is true with virtual assistants, because the one I have now, she's actually my third one. And the first two, it was a mutual parting of ways. We understood, oh, this is not fitting. This isn't fitting. What you provide and the way you work doesn't work with what I need and the way I work. So we parted ways. I'm still in contact with both of them. They're still fans of my writing. They're still people I connect to. But just professionally speaking, the one I have now is just everything that I actually need. And it's working well. So there could be some trial and error to find the right virtual assistant for you when you're ready to find one.
Yeah. And so I think what you said there, what you need, and I think that's the hard, that's the part that you have to figure out before you start looking, but you have to figure out what you actually need. Because a person can't do something for you that you don't know that you need, or that you haven't asked them to do, or even so how did you figure that out for yourself?
So the list I initially had is actually different than what she's doing now. We're moving some of that onto her plate, as we adjust, and we're adjusting what she's doing and everything. But I think the biggest thing is when you're looking at your writing career, is what is a pain point? What is eating up a lot of your time that needs to really be spent writing? Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, if you're an author, you're wanting to write more books, you're wanting to do more. But if you are getting bogged down where a whole day of your writing stuff is spent doing your newsletter, then you need to hire somebody who's going to take care of your newsletter for you. So I think you start by figuring out what's eating up your time that you could pass off. I think that would be where you'd start.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's so funny that you said that about the newsletter, because I absolutely spent a day doing a newsletter.
So we started off. So Hannah, who is my virtual assistant and is amazing, she does what I need. The way she functions works with what I needed, and she is amazing. But she does most of my social media stuff. She does my newsletter stuff. So what'll generally happen is I will put together, on the newsletter, I'm okay, this is the format. And then there's a spreadsheet where I put all the information in, and she is doing the grunt work for it, moving it and doing it, all that kind of stuff. Same thing with my email. So I get bogged down in email if I'm having to open and reply. So she just copy and pastes all of my email into a Word document so that I can just go down and go bop, 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 and answer everything in one document. And then she copy and pastes it and moves it over. So she's doing a lot of what I would call busy work. It's a lot of grunt work stuff, but that is stuff that I do not have to spend time doing because she's doing it. And she's getting paid to do it. She's happy to do it.
So on that note, do you pay her by the hour or by the project?
I do. I pay her by the hour, and I have given her this is the max. This is the max you can work a week.
Okay. So you can
that I put a cap on it, but I don't have a minimum. I just put a cap on it, and then I just send her things and she works on them, and then I get a bill at the end of the month. So we worked out an hourly rate, and which can vary greatly. If you go looking for personal assistants, they can range anywhere from $15 to $50 an hour. It just depends on what you want them to do and how good they are at what they do. But so I pay her by the hour, and I just put a cap on it. Don't go over this amount per week. And so she's about to ramp up more because I have a launch coming up. So she'll be working more through launch stuff. But yeah, that's how we work it. Yeah.
Was that kind of how you did it with your other ones too? Just
Yeah, it was, and part of that was, I will say, so the very first one I had, um, she was not already a virtual assistant. She was a fan that was helping out, like in a lot of ways, and she thought it would be easy to just kind of. We both thought it would be easy for her to just kind of switch that up a level to virtual assistant from just
right.
really involved, helpful fan. Um, and that did not work well. And so she actually ended up not cashing the checks I sent her, which
Oh,
I felt really bad about because she did the work, but she felt bad because it didn't fit. So she ended up not cashing the checks. But the second person I tried was by trade a virtual assistant. So she like had her system set up and like we keyed into it, but that ended up not working well either. And so then I found Hannah, and Hannah was just getting started when I joined in with Hannah on her virtual assistant stuff. So we figured out something that would work for both of us. And I think that's one of the things to know is that your virtual assistant relationship is going to be very personal. It's going to be very tailored to you, most likely, because it's specifically what are you needing to do. And as long as you both know what it is, then it works.
So okay, how does somebody go find a virtual assistant? I mean, we can leave some links, I think, but also like, how would you just start out? Like, I need a virtual assistant. I mean, obviously, I can say to you, give me Hannah's information, but everyone can't go to Hannah.
Everybody can't go to Hannah. So there are definitely places where there's companies that are specifically tailored to helping authors that have packages, and you can go find them and you can Google search them. I found Hannah through like Facebook groups, author Facebook groups. I just was posting, hey, I am looking for a virtual assistant. Anybody know of one? If you are one, or whatever, because a lot of authors are virtual assistants as well. It's kind of their second income stream. And that's actually how I found Hannah. She's an author in this author group. And she said, hey, let's talk. And so I talked to her. But I know and it's not just like your small authors. Jamie Jo Wright has a whole virtual assistant business going. So that's where I would start. I would say get in your author groups. Ask your author friends like, hey, anybody know a virtual assistant? Anybody is a virtual assistant? And start finding them that way. That's honestly where I would start.
So let's ask that down here in our comments. Like, people, if you are a virtual assistant, if you're looking for a virtual assistant, if you don't know what you want, let us know. I mean, if you're a personal chef and you want to work for free, also, no, just kidding.
Yes, we'll take that. And any freebies that want to come our way will be good. But if you're looking for a virtual assistant, get down in the comments. Let's see if we can connect some people.